the type of technologies, whether you have electron beam welding or ultrasound technologies or machining technologies or coating technologies, or you need to have a mirror, the type of polishing what you need in a mirror, or optics, what type of optics you need, nothing was there. That is where scratch started, right from the scratch. And that is the period when all the people were leaving DRDO, joining the software industry, and most of them were going to the abroad. Let me tell you, in my batch, I think we have about 67 people joined in the Hyderabad laboratories, in the missile laboratory. I think we are now 2 people left. 65 people have left. And let me tell you, in that time, that period of about 6-7 years, it was almost becoming, there were statements like this that people who are not able to go only are staying back. People who are not able to go are staying back. This is the type of statements we had to listen. But I am sure, personally me, during my studies itself, I was very clear that I have to stay back here, let me work here within the country, and let me do whatever we can do. There were people who stayed back like that. In fact, many people have stayed back. Today, the chief of DRDO, who is there, Mr. Avinash Chander, the scientific advisor to Raksha Mantri, is a brilliant student from IIT Delhi. He is the man who has come and who has built the navigation technologies for the country. Similarly, the director DRDL, Mr. Venugopalan, he is from IIT Chennai, and he is the one who has developed the Prithvi engines. Probably you, I think day before yesterday you heard Dr. Saraswat, he is from IISc Bangalore, who is the man who was the project director of Prithvi, who made the first Prithvi successful. So people, there were many people who have come from prestigious institutes who were there and who have worked for this, and that is the time, as I said, the real indigenous effort has started in DRDO. Many missiles started coming in, and today you look at it. Let me tell you very, very, very confidently that, name it, that technologically, you talk about any missile in the world, today you have it India. Technologically, any missile. We have Agni 1, Agni 2, Agni 3, which have already gone to the services, Prithvi, which has gone to the services, the ship-launched Dhanush missile, which has gone to the services, already inducted into the services, then Agni 4 is in the process of going to the services. You must have seen last year the Astra missile, which was very successful. Akash, which is the anti-aircraft missile, those days it was called like equivalent to Patriot missile, has now orders, the BDL, Bharat Dynamics Limited, has got orders of 20,000 crores from the Indian Army and Air Force today. 20,000 crores for 2,000 missiles, Akash, which is produced indigenously. These all have come because, thanks to 1989 Agni launch, and thanks to the Western people saying that we will not supply to these people and they cannot make it, that is where we started from scratch. Today you talk about, today in Agni, leaving aside the electronic components, what you need to get it today because you don't have silicon fab or whatever it is in the country, I can say definitely about 90% of the total equipment what goes in an Agni missile or Agni 5 what we have flown is completely indigenous today, made in that. As I said, some of these things we are not able to do because we don't have infrastructure in the country. DRDO or ISRO will not establish a fab, a silicon fab or a optics fab or things like that within that. That is what is supposed to be done by the industry and other government organizations. The BrahMos missile was an Indo-Giant Russian venture named as Brahmaputra River and Moskva River. That's how the name as BrahMos has come. It is the only supersonic cruise missile in the world today, where jointly India and Russia have done. The complete avionics is given by India, and the propulsion and the aerodynamic structure is given by the Russians, which has gone into surface launched or even ship launched, or today it is going to be air launched. And last year you must have seen that there is an underwater launch which can be launched from a submarine, has been very successfully launched and being produced now in the country. Underwater launched from coast of Andhra Pradesh, Visakhapatnam it has been launched. Then after that you have seen Agni 5, which is the first ICBM intercontinental ballistic missile class of a missile, again first time which has been launched and which was very successfully launched. That is where people really looked at it. Till that time, the United States of America has been always been criticizing. Normally people say that if you are weak, they laugh at you. If you become stronger, they admire you. The same thing United States of America has given a statement that the day we are very sure that India has the capabilities, and also we are very sure that they use only for the peaceful purposes. This is the statement they had given that day. It is only China who wanted to create a confusion, said it is 7,000, 8,000, 9,000 kilometers range, and then all the types of figures they started giving. So that is where we are now. This year you will be seeing again some more wonders. If an enemy ballistic missile is launched towards India, we have already demonstrated a couple of times, we can intercept in the mid at about 30 to 40 kilometers altitude. Next month, you will be seeing another launch where the same missile can be intercepted and with a direct hit at about 125 kilometers in the altitude. You will have a launch next month itself. This is the type of a thing. Similarly, you look at ISRO, we are one of the few countries in the world where you have a geostationary satellite launch capability. That's one thing which we have been seeing, and this year is phenomenal, particularly in that, is that you could prove your own cryogenic engine which is to be used in a launch vehicle of this class. Your own cryogenic vehicle engine has been proven. Also, most of you will be knowing about GPS. GPS is a global positioning system what you use in all your cell phones and things like that, which is a United States of American system. It will have an augmented system, means it is supported by some other satellite system, which earlier only USA had, which is called WAS, and then later European system, the entire European nations had one system called IGNOS, and then Japanese started one more system called EMSAS. India is the only fourth country to have made a system called Gagan, which is declared operational by the Airports Authority of India also just about 2 months back. The complete Gagan system is a fourth system for the GPS aided, is completely operational today. Then as I said, like GPS, the Russians have the GLONASS system, and then a couple of other countries started to working on that. The European nations, as a whole European nations, European Union, they started a system called Galileo, and which is tremendously delayed, which was supposed to be operational by about 2013. I think till even now today we have about 2 or 3 satellites only operational. The Chinese started another system called COMPAS. They have launched a couple of satellites. I think India is the other country, the 5th country in the world, to be launching its own again positioning system called IRNSS, Indian Regional Navigation Satellite System, IRNSS, where already one satellite is already in the space now, and the chairman ISRO has said that by about 2016 you will have the system completely operational. You don't have to depend the complete civilian use to the military use. You don't have to depend at all on the GPS or GLONASS at all. That is the type of a system you have got. Look at other side. I'm just talking about only these type of technologies because I don't know. Otherwise you will get into a lot of things. The light combat aircraft. I just want to tell many of you here, you must have heard many negative stories about it. Yes, we have taken about 23 years of time to develop this light combat aircraft, which is really a challenging job for anybody to make such a system. The time taken by Israel, the time taken by French, with the infrastructure in the country available, with the aerospace industries available in their country, is 19 years to make an aircraft. Even in the United States of America, to make the F-18 aircraft, they have taken about 17 years. And for a country like us, which we do not have anything in the country, where we started developing right from how to make a wing and software you have to take from somebody, you have to make an engine, you don't have many of the materials available in the country. If you take 23 years, is it something you have committed a sin? Every day you find a negative news in the newspaper. Let me tell you, this is not, this is a job of the people. India is one of the biggest importer of arms. So if you can destabilize somehow the country's R&D here by this type of a news, it is what you are going to get benefited. You have to buy from them. So that is what is the whole game happening here. You somehow stabilize the indigenous R&D efforts, what are happening in the country, and try to do.